What's happening, public safety peeps? This is Spider Harrison, your official 911 voiceover dude. Wow, I'm official. Here comes this week's tips. Today in Public Safety Infocast, where we talk about what's changing in 911, what's getting better, what's getting messy, and what you can do about it without losing your mind. Today, Flesh is joined by Director Carrie Morrissey of Anoka County 911 in Minnesota for a conversation that gets practical, fast. We're talking ASAP Direct Connect, what it really looks like to implement, and why the move to AWS GovCloud and modern connectivity matters. You'll also learn how this digital integration not only implements faster, but how it's shaving minutes off each alarm call for service. That's time banked up for real emergencies. Have you ever thought, why are alarm calls so difficult to handle? They should be the easy ones. Then this episode is for you. All right, let's get into it. Now here's Fletch.
Hey, this is Fletch. I'm a NINA certified ENP. Welcome back once again to our special series on digital alarm processing and the ASAP automated alarm protocol. So far in the first 3 videos, we've talked about ASAP, the history of the protocol, and last week we spoke with Bill Toth, the Director of ASAP Implementation and Support at Mission Critical Partners, about some implementation details. As promised, this week we're going to jump into the actual deployment of ASAP in a center as we talk with Carrie Morrissey, the Director of Anoka County, Minnesota Emergency Communications Center, who's been using ASAP for 5 years now. Welcome, Carrie. Tell us about your center in Minnesota and the community that you serve up there.
Our Anoka County Emergency Communications in Minnesota, we cover a population of about 380,000 people. We are under a joint law enforcement council, so we don't report to a sheriff, but we have 21 communities in the county. We dispatch for 11 law agencies and 15 fire departments. We're a primary PSAP, and then our EMS providers are secondary PSAPs. We had handled approximately 250,000 law calls for service last year and about 45,000 fire calls for service. Handled around 350,000 phone calls last year, some texts. We have a brand new center that we moved into in March of 2025. So it has 44 seats, 31 on the main floor, and then 13 in our training room. When we're staffed, the highest at our peak staffing is 11 telecommunicators. Our full staffing with our radio shop included is 67 right now, including our administrative.
So tell me a little bit about your ASAP implementation. What would you do differently, if anything? And what were some of the lessons learned during the process?
I don't know if we'd really do anything different. We've been using ASAP for about 5 years now. It was an easy implementation. The best thing about it is it cleaned up a lot of our addresses. Once the alarm company sent over the addresses they had for our county, we found a lot of errors. They weren't in there right, so we got to clean up that database. We found a lot of them that weren't for our county. They were bordering counties because people used, maybe the wrong name. It wasn't really the correct city. It was just really easy. It was a lot of work at first just because you had so many addresses to go through. The training was easy. I think the one thing that our staff didn't like is that this is what you get. You get a bunch of data where our call takers are used to just using acronyms like ABA for audible burglar alarm and then covers, this room. So we do like one sentence and that's your whole alarm call. And through ASAP, you're getting a lot of data. Maybe a little different is we'd have better highlighted, this is all you need to look at when the ASAP call comes in, so that they knew where to train their eyes to look instead of having to read through the whole thing to figure it out themselves.
So how long was it before your staff changed their opinion? When did they start to see the benefits and realize this was good?
After the first storm hit and the phones weren't ringing as much. Because I think anyone that has ASAP knows that when you get any kind of storm, an ice storm, a windstorm, a thunderstorm, snowstorm that brings down power lines, you get a lot of alarm calls, but you get a lot of true emergencies too. And alarms you answer last. You have to answer your 911 lines first. And if you can have those coming in through ASAP, you can dispatch your priority calls first because you're not having to answer, and also you don't have to answer those calls. They were like, oh, that was kind of nice not answering that chunk of calls because they just came into queue.
So let's talk about false alarms. With false alarms and the ability for the alarm company to automatically cancel them, you've got the opportunity to clear the call early. Did that give you any improvement in resource allocation?
Yeah, and a nice thing too with that is with ASAP, you don't even have to do it with a phone call. So we can get a notice to cancel, or even if it is still a call, key holders en route and they're in a white Chevy truck. The comment just pops up on the call and we get a dashboard notification. We look, so it's all done automatically. There's no phone calls involved. So yeah, we can cancel, we can get key holder notification. We can ask for an update on a call. So it's making everything so much more efficient, taking out those extra phone calls. It's saving so many minutes overall over the whole process. So it's so efficient, everything. And just the way the alarms are graded too, it's cutting out those alarm calls we shouldn't even get.
So let's go back to the install and talk about collaboration. What role did MCP play in that whole process? What did that look like?
We had Bill Hodegard. He was like the interim for us, so he was contracted to work with us, and he was wonderful. He helped basically walk us through everything and what we needed to do on our side. He gave us all the authorization letters that we basically signed with each alarm company and how we made that connection. And then we worked with the state because when we signed up, we had to go through the state switch with Minnesota to get the security, the CGIS connection. He helped us walk through it. It was seamless for us because someone else had done it first, but Bill was such a great help for us. Anytime we had a question, he was there for us. He helped clarify some addressing things we couldn't get quite figured out between either the alarm company or us. It made it so easy because we always had someone there helping us along the way and answering any question we had.
What about your staff retraining? Was that difficult?
We sent screenshots and said, it's gonna look like this. And I laughed because some of the feedback was, but alarm calls are the easiest ones to train new people to take. I'm like, well, we're still gonna get some, but why would you not wanna handle less calls? Our goal is to give you guys less phone calls to answer, so you have more time between calls and more breaks and a little breathing room. You want to answer less calls. Trust us, this is a good thing.
So, Carrie, I'm sure in your long career, you've done a lot of different technology projects. How would you rate the ASAP project? Easier, harder, about the same?
That was one of the easiest. And just last week, or I think it was last week, I did a technology presentation on what we're doing here at Anoka County. And I know they were asking about more of our, like the next gen type stuff. And I'm like, I am throwing ASAP into the technology PowerPoint too, because I think people forget about it. It is technology. It's a good use of technology. It's one of the easiest things that PSAPs can do. It's for big, small, medium. It's going to help anyone. And I think the smaller PSAPs kind of forget that this can help you too. Because again, it's one person doing everything. And if a storm rolls through that one PSAP, that county, whatever, it's still one person answering all those lines. So even if it's a percentage of those alarm calls coming in to queue through ASAP, you're still not answering that percentage of calls. You're still not overwhelming that one or two people, one person or two people. So I threw that into my technology slide because I'm like, it is technology. And I wanted it. You got to use it. So I kind of try and pitch it every time I can.
Carrie Morrissey is the director of the Anoka County Emergency Communications Center, up in Minnesota, just north of Minneapolis-St. Paul, and a seasoned 5-year user of the ASAP alarm protocol. Next week, we're going to wrap up my 5-part series on moving digital alarm data as data and getting it off that slow legacy voice-centric network for the conveyance of structured data. This is Fletch. Remember, you can follow me on social media at Fletch911. Catch all my past episodes of Tips at 911tips.com, and my blogs are located at Fletch.tv. My professional site is Fletch911.com. Thanks so much for joining me today, and if you're in public safety, thanks for what you do every single day. Stay safe and take care.
You've been listening to Tips Today in Public Safety, your go-to podcast for today's breaking stories and public safety news. Hosted by Fletch and available every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Catch past episodes on 911tips.com. Be sure to like and subscribe, and remember to join us each week for the latest on NG 911. I am Spider Harrison, the official 911 voiceover dude. Catch me on Sirius XM on various channels, including 90s on 9, the 10 spot, and on the Weekend Countdown on Hits 1. Or don't regret it for the rest of your life. Either way, I'm good.